Hey, what's going on, parents? Happy Teenager Tuesday.
Yes.
We are back after a 2-week break.
Wow.
Actually, so
here
we are. Yeah. And
we made it back.
We made it back. I hope
did.
y'all had a happy Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Glad Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All of the
right?
Christmases.
All the good words.
Yeah. I had a very Perry
Full of love,
Christmas.
joy. Oh man.
Will
Because Will Perry.
Yeah. It was Perry.
Perry, Mary.
Okay.
All right. You're welcome for that. That one was free.
Parents, we're so glad you're here. I'm here with the one and only Pastor Letitia Solomon.
Hello.
Which, does anybody call you Letitia?
All my family does.
Okay.
But like people here don't really call me that.
Okay.
No.
Sometimes I'll look for your Instagram.
I know.
and I'll-
Because it's Letitia Solomon.
But I'll put Tisha.
Yeah.
Because everybody
It
calls you
doesn't
Tisha.
pop up. I know.
And if you don't know Tisha, she's a student pastor at the Frisco East campus, mom of 3
Yes.
awesome young kids.
My babies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how old are they?
I have 2 15-year-old twins
Mm-hmm.
and a 13-year-old. So he's about to be 14 in December, though.
Dang.
He just turned 14, actually.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
your twins are going to be driving in not that long.
My twins are, before too long, they're going to be driving. So they have their permit, and it's just been real fun.
Wow,
Yeah.
crazy. So,
wow.
Tisha is here today. We got just a 2-week series
Yes.
on New Year's resolutions. We thought it'd be good
Yes.
to, it's kind of one of those things we would say, hey, we don't know everything, but man, we're here to just give some tips and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, Tisha, you were kind of telling me that there are like 3 main ways
Yeah.
that you've seen people and families kind of do New Year's resolutions.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first way is the traditional way where you focus on doing something for an entire year. It's kind of tangible at the end of it. You kind of look back and see what you've done. That's a great way. Another way that I've seen is people choose like small goals, small things that they do every month out of the year. Okay. So essentially there's like 12 different things that you're doing, but they're smaller goals. So it feels a lot more, it's not as like looming or as large, and it feels like there's a light at the end of the tunnel with that way.
Yeah.
And then the other way I've seen is where people choose a word to focus on for that year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that.
There's 3 different ways,
yeah.
and we're going to talk about all 3 of them.
Yeah, and there's probably not a wrong way.
No.
So I'm very goal-oriented. I always do, I'll probably do like 1 and 3.
Yeah.
But 12 would be, or the having one thing every 12 months is pretty cool too.
I've been doing that the last couple of years, and honestly, I've loved it.
Really?
And I really just think it depends on your personality and your students' personality, what you think will work best for them. And as you talk with them about it and making goals for the future, like what would be the best for them. And, and you know as a parent and your kids know, or maybe you don't know and you realize, well, this way doesn't really work for us. So we're going to try something else next year. So,
It's kind of finding what works.
Absolutely.
So with that, let's get to the first one. And then, because you have some tips for the very first one. And then next week we'll kind of hit those.
So the traditional way of setting goals, and maybe you're like hitting a brick wall and you're like, I don't know what these goals will be. Well, I have 9 today that I'm just going to walk you through, and maybe one of them will work for you and your family. So we're going to dive right on in. So the first one is just simply learn something new. You know, we know that instilling confidence in our kids is a really big thing. And so teaching them to learn new things is always good. And sometimes we fall flat on our face and we don't learn the new thing, or it's really difficult and we're not great at it. And so, but we've tried, right? And so learning new things, whether that's cooking, knitting, skateboarding, playing an instrument, any of those things, maybe becoming a photographer or messing around with that. There's a lot of different things that students can get in and get involved in. And so just trying something new.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool. And so many of those too, like parents can do that with them too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Something you can do together as a family, which is always a huge goal. And especially since we're talking 2 parents of teenagers, it's not long before your teenager's going to leave your house. And so you're going to wish you had had some of those memories. So it's good. So the second one, is just becoming a better friend or a better family member, like really focusing on, responding to those texts quicker. Maybe your goal as a family to become, just a better family or more cohesive or more relational is that you determine to have 1 or 2 nights a week where you do family dinner. Maybe your life is crazy, but that one night a week, no matter what, we are doing family dinner, or you're being intentional about reaching out to friends or family. Hey, how can I pray for you this week? Really just what can you do to become a better friend, a better family member, and you're really focusing on that for an entire year.
I love that. Because you could even make that into a phrase and say, this year, it's better together. And how do we better together?
Absolutely.
That's cool.
And I think that's good. And it's helping us become the best version of who we are.
Oh, yeah.
So number 3, find a cause. So really just what's something that you can do as a family together? Donate stuff you no longer use. Perform a random act of kindness, once a month maybe for the entire year. Raise money, do a charity walk, organize a blood drive. We all know that, that's a really big thing right now is blood drive, blood centers, they need more blood. And so doing that, collecting canned goods for a shelter or a food bank, caring for animals at a shelter. There's a lot of different causes that you can get behind to really
That's cool.
Together you guys can do something together.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because during the holidays, it seems like there's a million causes.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get back into a regular rhythm without it. So that's a great goal to do.
Is like being intentional through the entire year doing something along those lines, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So, number 4, just serving, really. And that's kind of like a cause, but I like to say serving the generation coming up behind you. So at Hope, let's say you go to Hope Fellowship and you're listening to this. Maybe you guys are serving together in Hope Kids on the weekend, or your teenager, they're in high school and they want to serve in middle school groups on the weekend, or they want to be greeters on Wednesday nights or on Sundays. Just finding a way to serve the next generation behind you, or even outside of the church. Volunteer in Miracle League. Maybe a student at their school, they're a buddy for a kid with special needs or something like that. But just serving like the next generation coming up behind you. I think that's
if you're
a lifelong
step ahead
thing.
of someone, you have something to give them behind you.
Yes,
Love that.
absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah. Number 5, managing stress. This has been a stressful season, and I think there's a lot of ways that you can do this. One, I would encourage counseling. Like if there's lots of things going on, counseling is good, but there's other things too. Journaling, more sleep, exercising, listening to music, performing, like dancing, artistry. I was going to say artistry.
That's her goal for next year.
Yes,
is art.
Art. It's not. I'm not good. Reading a book. Just those kinds of things where we're managing stress and we're being intentional about the stress in our lives and how we're managing it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because that's such a big life skill too.
Yes, and it will help for the rest of our lives. Number 6, improve your GPA, just helping our students be more intentional about setting time aside to really study, because we know that that's a lifelong skill too. Like not just in middle school, high school, but in college, we're going to have to do that, and we're going to have to set aside time. And honestly, it helps boost our kids' confidence too, when they can come home and be like, look what I did, look at the grade I made because I set this time aside.
Yes, well, and I love that because it's not saying you have to get an A to succeed.
Yeah.
Because I was a straight C student in English, and I had to fight to get that C. So it's one of those like, well, what's just one step up?
Absolutely. It's not like, hey, make all A's, but hey, what can we do to make this more fruitful for you, for us, so that you can feel better about what you're doing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So number 7, I love this. I love reading. Read for fun is number 7. Find books that maybe your family can read together where you're sharing them and you're talking about them. It's good like dinner conversation. It's good car chat time. Is find series that y'all can read together, or maybe you're listening to Audible, a book on tape. I just got my age there.
All of you.
But
book on tape. There you go.
Yeah, book on tape. Where you're reading together. And honestly, reading too, I believe that when you read, you're learning. Whether it's fiction, nonfiction, whatever it is that you're learning, you're expanding your mind by doing that, and you're putting a screen down and you're like picking up something tangible. So,
unless you're reading on your iPad.
True, which you can do too, but don't get distracted. Yeah, got it.
But then you get the little dings, and then you get distracted.
Absolutely. And it's like, what else is coming on? So, the next one is just slow down. Bob Goff, if you know him, he says that he quits something every Tuesday. And honestly, this generation, Gen Z, they're so busy. And so help them prioritize things in their lives and things they can say no to, so they can say yes to things that are so fulfilling.
That's good.
So,
I love that.
I know.
And
it's so
one
good.
more, right? We got
one more.
Okay.
And really, I love this one. And I think it's good for an entire family to do, but read through the Bible in a year.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like
really cool.
read the Bible every day, but I'm saying, hey, this year, let's read through the Bible. There's lots of great apps. The Bible Recap, that's how I do it. It tells you exactly how to do it, and there's a podcast that goes along with it that explains what you're reading. So these are some really good tips.
Well, and that can be
tricks.
the dinner conversation.
Absolutely.
Like
what
that
did you read
week.
today, or where are you at? Are we on the same page? So
that's cool. You got to
really
kind of muscle your way through some of the Old Testament laws,
Leviticus, which can be
stuff,
difficult. But honestly, if you do like the Bible Recap and do the podcast podcast along with it. It's really explaining what it is, and so it's really helpful because you understand what you're reading, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
that's cool. So, well, parents, those are 9 tips for the more kind of traditional way. Next week, we're going to talk about those other 2.
We sure are. Yeah. So we're really excited about it. We hope you join us next week. Listen, parents, you've got this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we. We'll see you next week.
See ya.